So have you ever wanted to dive into GitHub to manage your code, but you just completely froze the second you saw a terminal window? Look, if you're intimidated by the command line, I promise you, you are absolutely not alone. Today's explainer is going to show you exactly how to bypass that blinking cursor completely.
Let's be real, it is incredibly daunting to have to memorize obscure text commands and try to decipher a completely buttonless interface just to use basic version control. The fear of typing the wrong thing and accidentally blowing up your entire project? Yeah, that's real. But what if I told you there's actually a completely visual way to handle the whole shebang? Well, the solution is this little-known gem called GitHub Desktop. It's a completely free visual program made directly by the folks at GitHub. And what it does is take all those complex behind-the-scenes terminal commands and wraps them into a clean, easy-to-read interface that just lives right there on your computer. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the stress-free workflow we're going to learn today. 1. The terminal alternative. 2. Your first repository. 3. Cloning to your computer. 4. Committing your changes. 5. Pushing to the cloud. And finally, 6. How to undo mistakes.
All right, step 1, the terminal alternative, setting up your account. Really simple here. You just head over to github.com, sign up for a free account, and you'll land right on your main dashboard.
Moving right along to step 2, your first repository, organizing your project. So once you're hanging out on that main dashboard, all you got to do is look up to the top right of your screen and click that little plus sign icon. That's going to let us create our very first project.
Now, let's quickly demystify some of the jargon you're going to bump into right away. On GitHub, a project is called a repository, or you'll usually hear it called a repo for short. But please don't let the fancy tech term fool you. A repository is essentially just a standard main folder that holds all of your code and your project files. That's literally all it is.
When you go to create this repo, let's call ours GitHub Demo, you'll see a few configuration options pop up. Let's walk through exactly what these mean. First up is visibility. Public means anyone on the internet can see your code, while private keeps it locked down and hidden. We're going to leave ours public for now. Next, you've got the README file. This is just a simplified markdown file where you can type out a nice little description of your project for anyone who visits. Then there's the git ignore file. This one is super handy because it tells GitHub to, well, ignore specific files that you don't want uploaded publicly. And finally, the license. This dictates exactly how other people can use your code. For open source stuff, you might toss on an MIT license. But if you skip it in and select no license, your code simply defaults to regular copyright protection. Okay, so now that our project actually exists up in the cloud, let's move to step 3, cloning to your computer, connecting the cloud to local. Basically, we need to bridge the gap between the internet and your personal machine. And this brings us to another big vocabulary word, cloning. Honestly, cloning just means making an exact copy of the repository from GitHub and downloading it straight to a local path on your computer. So, once you've installed GitHub Desktop and linked up your account, you just select your GitHub demo repo and hit clone. GitHub Desktop usually defaults to saving this in a local path in your computer, something like documents/GitHub.
All right, on to the fun part. Step 4, committing your changes, creating save points. This is where we actually get our hands dirty and start building. So you can actually launch your code editor like VS Code, for example, directly from GitHub Desktop. Just a heads up, the first time you do this, you might have to click a Trust This Folder prompt, just as a quick security measure. From there, you're free to start tweaking your files. Let's say we update our README and maybe we create a brand new file called test.txt. When you swap back over to GitHub Desktop, you'll see it acting like this brilliant visual tracker. It automatically flags your modified README with a little yellow square and a dot, and it marks your new test.txt file with a bright green plus sign. You just use these simple little checkboxes to decide exactly which of these files you want to save together in this batch.
And when you group those files together and hit save, you are creating what's called a commit. The best way to think about a commit is exactly like a save point in a video game. It takes a perfect snapshot of your project files at that exact moment in time. So if you ever mess something up later down the road, you can simply load up your previous save point. It makes experimenting with your code feel incredibly safe.
And take a look at all the metadata that automatically gets attached every single time you create one of these save points. The anatomy of a commit gives you the username of whoever made the change, a custom little message explaining what was done, something like add readme text, a completely unique commit ID, and the exact date and time it was created.
Basically, it builds an automatic, flawless paper trail for your entire project.
Okay, so you've made a commit, but if you jump over to check github.com, your changes aren't there. No need to panic. That just brings us to step 5, pushing to the cloud, syncing your work.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why those changes aren't showing up on the web yet. At this stage of the game, you actually have two separate versions of your repository. You've got your local repository. Those are the files sitting right there on your physical hard drive. And then you have the remote origin repository. And by the way, origin is really just the fancy technical term for the version of your project that's living up in the GitHub cloud on the internet. So to sync them up, all you have to do is click a button in GitHub Desktop that says Push Origin. This takes your local commit and pushes the change out to the remote GitHub repository. Now you might be wondering, why the two-step process? Why commit locally and then push remotely? Well, it's actually a massive safety feature. It means you can save your partial progress locally as many times as you want, totally private, while you're working on something complex. You only push it up to the public cloud when the code is fully baked and ready for the world to see. Which brings us to our final step, step 6, how to undo mistakes, your ultimate safety net. If you're a beginner and you're terrified of permanently breaking your code, you are absolutely going to love this. GitHub Desktop makes fixing mistakes incredibly visual and so simple. It basically works in 3 chronological tiers. Tier 1, let's say you type some code but you haven't committed it yet. You just right-click the file in GitHub Desktop and hit Discard Changes. Boom, the bad code vanishes. Tier 2, what if you did make a commit but you haven't pushed it to the cloud yet? There is literally a button right there that just says Undo. You click it and your commit is instantly undone locally. But what about Tier 3? What if you committed a file, like our test.txt, and pushed it all the way out to the public cloud? For that, you just right-click the public commit and select Revert Changes in Commit. Now, here's why that third tier is so specific. When you revert a pushed commit, GitHub Desktop doesn't just delete it. Instead, it automatically creates a brand new reverse commit. So think about it. If your original commit added test.txt, this reverse commit automatically deletes test.txt. The golden rule of Git is that you never, ever delete public history. If your teammates have already downloaded your bad commit, wiping it from the timeline will cause massive conflicts and basically break everyone's project. So by issuing a reverse commit instead, you get to cleanly undo your mistake while keeping the public timeline totally intact for everyone else. By keeping your local files separate from the cloud and giving you these easy visual buttons to commit, push, and revert, GitHub Desktop just completely removes all the anxiety of version control. It's a total game changer. So now that the terminal is no longer standing in your way, what will you build next?